Welcome back to The Conscious Conscience, where we uncover the extraordinary truths hidden in everyday life. I'm your host, Delilah. And today, we're taking a lighter dive into a topic that feels like something out of a magician's playbook: camouflage, illusions, and how nature and science hide things in plain sight. After exploring the Philadelphia experiment and the science, or lack thereof, behind cloaking technology, I thought it would be fun to shift gears and look at the real masters of invisibility, those in the natural world, and how their strategies inspire human innovation. When it comes to blending in, animals have perfected techniques that make even the most advanced human technologies look clumsy. Take, for example, octopus and cuttlefish. These sea creatures are the MVPs of camouflage. Their skin contains special pigment cells called chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores, allowing them to change color, texture, and even reflect light. They don't just hide, they perform literal magic tricks right before your eyes. Then we have chameleons. While they're famous for changing color, it's not just about blending in. Chameleons use their shifting hues to communicate mood, attract mates, and regulate body temperature. Their adaptability makes them fascinating and surprisingly dramatic masters of disguise. And of course, you can't forget the leaf-tailed gecko. These little reptiles take camouflage to a whole new level by literally mimicking the shape and texture of leaves. You could stare at one on a tree and never know it was there. Perfect for evading predators. What makes these strategies so effective? It's not just about hiding, it's about exploiting how predators and prey process visual information. Nature's knack for invisibility is deeply tied to how our brains interpret light, color, and patterns. A perfect segue into the world of optical illusions. The zebra stripes. Zebras don't exactly blend into the savanna, but their high contrast stripes confuse predators by creating a motion dazzle effect. It's harder for lions to track them in a herd when their patterns blur together. And of course, we have butterflies with eye spots. Have you ever noticed those eyes on a butterfly's wings? They're not just pretty, they're meant to scare predators by mimicking the eyes of a much larger animal. Humans have taken inspiration from these natural designs for years. Military camouflage, stealth technology, and even fashion patterns borrow heavily from these biological strategies. Now let's step out of the jungle and into the lab. Scientists have studied optical illusions and visual perception for centuries, and they've taught us a lot about how to trick the human brain. A classic example of how perspective and geometry can fool us into seeing people grow or shrink as they move across a room is the AMS room. Then we also have the hollow face illusion. Ever notice how a concave mask can look like a 3D face? That's because our brains are hardwired to see faces in a specific way, even when the reality is inverted. Then there's also the mirage effect. You know that shimmering water on a hot road that's not really there? That's light bending through layers of hot and cool air, tricking your eyes into seeing something that isn't real. These illusions show us just how easy it is to manipulate what we see. And while they're mostly harmless fun, they also serve as a reminder that reality isn't always what it seems, especially when our brains fill in the gaps. The natural world has also inspired some incredible human innovations. Beyond military applications, Camouflage and cloaking techniques have found their way into fashion, architecture, and even art. For instance, holography. While it doesn't hide things, holography creates the illusion of 3D objects using light. This technology powers everything from museum expeditions to those futuristic concert performances featuring holographic pop stars. There's even a giant holographic sphere in Las Vegas. Then we have projection mapping. This technique uses light to cloak objects by projecting an image of what's behind them onto their surface. It's not invisibility, but it's close, and it's already being used in everything from advertising to experimental theater. So, what can we learn from the masters of disguise, both natural and artificial? Whether it's an octopus vanishing into coral or a hologram fooling our senses, invisibility isn't just about hiding. It's about understanding how we perceive the world and finding clever ways to manipulate that perception. If you're interested in seeing some of nature's best camouflage in action, I recommend checking out the BBC's Life documentary series. It's a visual feast of the planet's sneakiest creatures in their element. And on the subject of the planet's sneakiest creatures, join us this Sunday for a Sunday Fun Day special where we talk about the Great Emu War. Until then, stay curious, stay conscious, and remember, even in plain sight, there's always more than what meets the eye.